I usually start with the assumption that people aren't in that hatred category. Remember starting with that statement? It's just that they've become so, their behaviors have become so ingrained that they don't realize, okay, how negative their behaviors are impacting to others in the workplace. So I would start there. I always contend that there are more people who just don't realize versus those who are deliberate. And I would say that's much like any other, situation that you encounter as an HR professional. That's where you have to call into question someone's intention. Help me understand. So if this is the requirement, all right, or if this is the goal, help me understand how your position helps us meet that. So that's where I sort of pull out the requirements versus preferences card, right? And so sometimes, and actually on the next bias, I'll talk about it, requirements versus preferences. All too often, we become ingrained in our thinking, and we think that what's a preference is a requirement, and it just isn't. I may prefer to see people with degrees from these particular institutions because that, to me, is a shorthand way of saying that they're good people, okay? Or that they're high potential, or that they know their stuff, or whatever. But that's a preference. It's not a requirement. And so I would use the requirements versus preferences to engage them in a conversation. Help me understand if that's a requirement or a preference. Help me understand how does that help us further the goal you're trying to achieve.